week. I have a question for Jeff and Ken. Can you guys talk about how you're differentiating the ultra portables you just introduced from some of the other comparable products on the market, either in terms of price, features, or weight? And specifically, can you talk about how you differentiate or go head-to-head against the MacBook Air?
Well, let's talk about what the products are and what we think is differentiated about them. I'll ask Margaret and Ken to help me. I'll start with the 4300, which is the 13.3-inch base notebook. First of all, it's a standard volt processor, which many folks in this category have made decisions around whether it's a lower voltage or ultra low voltage processor. So we think we have a performance advantage. And in fact, if you look at the low voltage processor that's in the 12-inch product and the standard volt processor that's in the 13-inch product, we think we've bracketed many of the platforms in that category, either on a performance attribute with a 3.4-pound 13-inch notebook to spindle that we think is pretty much leadership in business computing. And then on the bottom side of that is our 12-inch 2.2-pound product with the low voltage processor that we think allows us to get the thin and light and very competitive in the marketplace. So whether that's HP's product or Lenovo's product or whomever else you might want to compare with, we think the stack up of those two different platforms is quite competitive. And then if you think of the attributes that I mentioned around security, all-day computing, the simplifying around IT, and the design elements themselves, these are nice looking products. And as you think about that, we think this is a very competitive alternative to perhaps some of the more consumer-oriented notebooks that make their way into business. But we didn't compromise any of the business attributes that we've long put into Latitude and many of the new features and capabilities that I mentioned that go into Latitude that make this a mainstream, ruggedized, road warrior, do-all notebook. And we think this 13-inch form factor is an exciting form factor for the business notebook area.
Thanks.
Ken, Margaret would like to add?
I think it's also worth mentioning that some of the features that we kept in, like the ability to put an extended battery on it, the ability to actually dock the system and connect to larger displays, multiple larger displays. That's not an exercise of what wasn't included, but more of what could be included.
Which is different than some of the competitors.
Which is certainly different.
Particularly the A company.
Exactly.
The docking, you mean, specifically? Or?
Yeah, well, the docking, the eSATA, the...
Yeah, little things like ensuring that an Ethernet connector is connected to a mobile notebook. I mean, imagine business people, they travel, they go to hotels. Hotels clear around the world, not every single hotel has wireless in the room. You still have to go to the desk and plug in the Ethernet jack.
Changing the battery.
Yeah.
Next question.